The women that are saying the reason why you're finding it so difficult to date men is because of the red pill. They're more susceptible to the conspiracy theory. Huh. The reason why they want y'all in those environments, the reason why they want us in those environments, is so that we could be socialized, indoctrinated, socialized to see the world the way they do. You know, where they are hapless, helpless, innocent creatures, sugar and spice and everything nice, and you are a monster who needs to be civilized by the society and definitely by the women. Huh? And definitely for the more aspirational women, who are they supposed to marry? Themselves, goddamn Z. That's who they're supposed to marry. Themselves. They're throwing a fit because they think they are deserving of highly accomplished, highly educated men because they have a degree. Yeah, but what about if you're an asshole or mean? Or what about if you have bad hygiene? What about if you're not particularly physically attractive? What about if you have all of these things as an issue? Ooh, goddamn. What about if you're not fit? What about if you're just not appealing? Does all of that get swept away because you have a college degree? Maybe an advanced degree, maybe a terminal degree. Does all of that get swept away because you went to a Ivy League school or to a top 20 school? Huh? Does all of that get swept away because you're a PhD? Huh? Women who refuse to accept that men don't necessarily find the same things attractive as women do. Does physical appearance matter? Yes. But where women might say, you know what, he may not be the kindest person, but the resources, though. Men are less likely to be, she may not be the most attractive, but the resources, though. And there's nothing y'all can do to change that. Huh? Uh-oh. All of the LGBTQ slurs and insults levied at black men in particular by black women in particular. And now we find out, and we've known this for a while now, that the most same-sex loving group of people actually is black women. All of the tropes about black women, oh, excuse me, all of the tropes coming from black women levied onto black men about being secretly LGBTQ. In actuality, it's black women who are secretly LGBTQ. Oh, who would have thunk it? Huh? Who would have thunk it? To the young man, actually, let me play this clip and then we'll make reference to it afterward.
So someone posted divorce rates, right? The first one between men and women is 42%. Women and women is 72%. And men is 28%. And the person making the post asked the question, I'm curious, ladies, how are men the problem? I'm not gonna lie, I cannot give you a solid answer. Because a 72% chance of being divorced is crazy work. What's the point of being married at that point? Like, that shit is doomed to fail. Like, there is damn near no chance. And I honestly think it's mostly due to emotional thinking. Because in a situation where a man and a woman are mad at each other, who's the one that usually has to be like, okay, you know what, this is stupid, let's make up and, you know, whatever. You guys make up and now everything is cool. It's the dude. So now, if you have two people who are not willing to say, okay, maybe I was wrong in this situation, or apologize, then that's what you get, fam.
So, in the comments for this, I got this off of Instagram. In the comments, once again, actually, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Okay, continuing. In the comments, some Latino dude said something, it looked Latino or white, said something along the lines of, solution, kiss the bros. No. Solution, socialize the women different. If, and they don't actually mean this, if we are truly attempting to create a more equal or equitable, better yet, world, you have to socialize the women different. Mr. Z was not joking when Mr. Z said we have reached a market cap. We've reached a cap of how much you can change the way the men are behaving towards women without changing the way the women see the world fundamentally. We have reached a cap of men who are not threatened by women's success, men who are not threatened by women's knowledge or intelligence, particularly in the black community. We have reached the cap of that. Men who actually believe in egalitarianism and women who don't, who feign as if they do, right up until it comes down time to speak about their individual relationships, intimate relationships with men. Mr. Z is tying this to the college conversation. We have not had a real conversation in the society about what equality and what equity means. Two different things. And so, as the women throw a goddamn temper tantrum, black women throw a temper tantrum that there's not enough college educated black men, particularly attending HBCUs. Y'all know Mr. Z says, get it from the white man. Instead of our society having an honest conversation, the black community having an honest conversation with black women, that maybe you don't get that. The white women aren't told to settle, Z. The white women aren't told to settle. Yawn. Huh? Mr. Z is not going to tell black men not to attend college, especially if they're talented in something, if they have some type of vision, if there's some motivation there, right? If they need to hone some skill, right? Oh man. And Toya says, give me a second, y'all. Let's sound like that. And Toya says, what an honest conversation amongst pathological liars? Right? Exactly. Yeah. So the great thing that we have about this clip is that the young lady threatened, and she did it in a sassy way, in a snarky way, in a sarcastic way, as usual, as per usual. And that's the great thing about Mr. Z having this. Shout out to Pastor G for sending the clip. Is the way this young lady spoke is the way that you often hear black women speak, especially the ones that may not be as irate, maybe not as loud and boisterous. This kind of snarky, sassy. Maybe y'all need to date each other. Well, actually, according to the numbers, you're the one who's more likely to date each other, man. Uh-oh. Huh? In actuality, huh?
Some of you men are going to have to settle. You're going to have to settle for dating each other and marrying each other and pleasing each other because women are not putting up with your bullshit anymore. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of women don't want to get married. It's not really a lot of women's end goal anymore. Y'all don't even know how to be good boyfriends, let alone good husbands. A lot of women don't want to get pregnant and have babies. But oh, you're going to have to start doing something. Because like I said, women don't care. Well, would you gonna force a woman to be in a relationship with you?
It's the threat. A lot of women don't care to be married. It's the threat. Look, as I've said before, black women speak as if we're not their brothers and their cousins, their nephews and their uncles and their fathers and their grandfathers. They're close friends. The guy that was sitting next to them in college, in high school, the boy that was sitting next to them in middle school, in elementary school. Black women talk to black men as if we're the white or Latino kids in the high school across town. Like they can tell you, don't believe your lying eyes, don't believe your experiences, don't believe what you heard or what you saw and what you know about me. Huh? Black women act as if we actually believe the temper tantrum they throw in because they thought those college degrees were going to make them white women. God damn, see. Huh? They thought some luxury goods and luxury cars, entry level luxury cars, baby Benzes, were going to make them white women. They thought those condos were going to make them white women. They thought the houses in the suburbs were going to make them white women. They thought the dresses and the high heels were going to make them white women. Those expensive bags were going to make them white women. They thought the white collar jobs in the cubicle were going to make them white women. God damn. They thought the college degrees were going to allow for them to be in spaces with white men, and the white man would make them white women. Ooh, goddamn. Huh? Uh-oh. And how exactly did that work for black women? College educated black women. 23% of young black women now identify as bisexual. And there you go. Ma'am, you can't threaten black men. As the world became more and more open, as people learned how to hide their anti-blackness a little bit better, a smidge, just a teeny tiny bit, and as black men went overseas and black women went overseas, guess who has more marriages? Uh-oh. Well, will you look at that? Black men live in America, black women live in America. There are 2 million plus, there are 2 million, excuse me, more black women than there are black men. Yet and still, black men are more married and married interracially than black women. Huh. Is that truly because black women don't want to have children? Or black women underestimated how anti-black the society is, and that the college degree didn't make you a white woman, and so you best take care of the one man who's more likely to marry you, and you better come over here with a smile and a sandwich. Huh? Uh-oh. Did black women do way too much listening to Oprah and Terry McMillan and the Kim Fosters of the world, the Professor Crunks of the world, the Alice Walkers of the world, the Bell Hooks of the world? Huh? Did they do far too much of that? Huh? How exactly is that working for Bell Hooks' granddaughters and them? Mr. Z is saying the women that would be Bell Hooks' granddaughters' age. Once again, 23% of young black women now identify as bisexual. God damn. Huh? Yikes. Huh? The most recent survey, one subset stood out. 23% of black women in the 18 to 34 age group identify as bisexual, a proportion that's nearly 3 times higher than it was a decade ago. So remember, this was This came out in 2019. I think all the information was being gathered in 2018. So that means in 2008, it tripled from 2008 to 2018. Huh? Shout out to all the women who keep on saying they could do bad all by themselves. No, you might not be by yourself, ma'am. You'll be munching on another woman